What is advanced parole? Hi, I'm Jim Hacking, immigration lawyer practicing law throughout the United States out of our offices in St. Louis, San Diego, and Washington, D.C. In today's video, we're talking about advanced parole. Now, advanced parole is permission to leave the United States and the knowledge that you're going to be able to come back in. Now, parole is the word for allowing someone into the United States. So if you think about it, advance means I'm finding out early if I'm going to be able to come back into the United States. And this always comes up in cases in which people are applying for lawful permanent residence. They're trying to get a green card. And generally, if you file for lawful permanent residence and you leave the United States without advanced parole, that is, if you just file and leave, you might not be able to come back to the United States. You might not be allowed back in, and you might be deemed to have abandoned your green card application. So I've had several situations where people used to be able to leave the United States without advanced parole. They would have applied for it, but it wouldn't have come yet. And then they had someone send it to them overseas. That used to work in the old days, but not anymore. Now USCIS and CBP work together, and they know almost immediately when someone who's applied for a marriage-based green card case or an employment-based green card case, if they leave the United States, that can lead the government to conclude that you've abandoned your application for residency. And so the way that you secure that, the way that you make sure that you do that is when you file your I-130 and your I-130A and your I-45, the green card application itself, you also file for work authorization and the advanced parole. And you do it sort of all at once, because if you do it later, it's going to screw things up. It's much better to get all those receipt notices back at the beginning and have everything squared away. So you don't want to leave the United States without advanced parole, and that's a trip over to Canada, a trip to Mexico, or any time you're going to leave the United States, you need advanced parole. Now, sometimes people think, I have a visa and my visa is valid. Can I just go and come back on that? You could try it, but it could be a real big problem, because even if you have the ability to re-enter the United States, USCIS might close out your green card application and conclude that you have abandoned that application. Another way that this manifests itself is for people who have been in the United States for a long time, out of status. Now, if that's you and you're applying for lawful permanent residence and you talk to me, I'm most likely going to insist, beg, cajole you to stay in the United States until you actually get your green card. Advanced parole is great, but every year we hear a few stories out on the web and in our immigration lawyers forums where people had advanced parole and they were not able to come back in the United States after USCIS canceled that advanced parole. So that can happen. It does happen. So if you're out of status for a long time, I would say you should still apply for advanced parole just in case you need it in an emergency, but really try not to use it if you have been out of status for a long time. If you get advanced parole and your green card application is pending and everything's cool, I'm okay with you leaving the United States. Now, you need to think about, though, when will my interview be? So if you get advanced parole and you don't have anyone checking your mail, or you don't have a way of being notified if you get your green card interview notice in the event that there is an interview, then you're going to have a real hard time if you can't get back quickly. So that's one of the other things to think about when it comes to travel related to a pending green card application. So we've had people get in trouble with this. We don't want you to get in trouble with this, and that's why we shot this video. If you're looking to apply for lawful permanent residence and you'd like to hire our firm to help you through it, to help you get advanced parole and work authorization and all those things, we would love to work with you. You can call us at 314-961-8200. Email us info@hackingimmigrationlaw.com. You can join our Facebook group. We now have over 10,000 members in there, and that's immigrants who are going through the process, talking about processing times and everything else related to getting that green card, getting that citizenship. We'd love to have you join us there. We also have our YouTube channel, which you can subscribe to. You'll get updated whenever we go live, and we do go live 3 or 4 times a week on our Immigration Answer Show live. So we'd love to have you join us, and we'll see you next time.